Hello, this is Milan speaking. So I couldn't get a new video out this weekend, so I figured I'd do this for you guys. Just do a little commentary about the first 4 Meet the Crotoonians episodes we produced. So, this was the very first one we produced. I think this came around right around the time I was setting up for Frederator. It was just after I finished the Tillie to the Rescue script. So I figured, you know what, there's these cool new Bob the Builder shorts out, like Meet the Team. I'll do something like that for this, you know, to fill up time. Like, this, you can tell this is a bit of an early short, because, like, a lot of this doesn't look good. Like, the shading's bad, like, the human animation you just saw wasn't very good, and the 2D compositing was just, But, this was a very fun short to, like, do, like, a lot of experimenting with. Just, like, getting the feel for the show, what story should be played out like. Just, like, getting, like, you know, that sort of thing in. So, the voice actress in this, besides me, like, I voiced Bertie and Scrooge McDuck in this. We had the voice of Christopher Bouchard, who originally played Thomas, and then left after a few things happened, but he's still on the team now again, so Geeb Machine currently plays him, and he does a great job. And Casey Jr. is Enterprising Engine 93, as some of you know, and Annie and Clarabelle is Elizabeth Teofilo, aka, I'm praying to God I spelled her name right, said her name right, Blue Engine Liz 6, or Liz Productions 5784, like, I've done a lot of read-ups with her. Great channel. I would really recommend you check it out. So, there's not too much to say about this, other than that this was kind of the first big video we had on the channel. Like, I did the music videos before, but they didn't really go up like crazy. But, this was, like, the first one that was, like, a legitimate hit. Like, the first one that I think we hit 100,000 views with. And I still look back on this and I'm like, yeah, this is still alright. It was a good experiment in, like, getting a feel of what we should do for, like, story-based episodes, getting an idea of how to produce the episodes themselves, and, you know, learning stuff like human animation, character animation, pacing, all that stuff. And also, I think this was the first one where we actually had, like, sets that I built myself on SketchUp. Some of them don't look as good as, like, some of them. Like, just to give you an idea, the whole set in the middle of the episode with the big race sequence, that was pretty much done by me, and this set and the other set were, I think, freeware, I believe. Oh, and the watermill set you see in the intro was also me. Yeah, this was, I'm not sure what else to say about this one. This was, like, this still holds up well. It was fun. Like, it was fun to produce, and it still holds a place in my heart. So next up, I believe, is Tracy's Heavy Haul. And this one is interesting because I think this was the first one where we introduced Gridania Bay Docks, which as of now is like the biggest set in the whole series. Like, this changed a lot, like, looking back on it. Like, it's very different from what we originally started with. This is also the first short with Stephanie Panicello, who is the voice of Tracy, who you guys might know from Frederator's other thing, the Leaderboard, which is like it discusses gaming instead of animation. And she did a really good job. Like, she kind of came out of the blue. Like, she followed me and was like, hey, thanks for following me. And she was like, sure. And I was like, hey, would you want to be a part of this project? And she was like, sure. And, like, I was really glad I got her for this, because she just gives that really nice feel for Tracy. Like, essentially what her character should be. Like, very youthful, energetic, a little bit overzealous in there. Like, you can kind of tell. Like, she's been fantastic to work with. And she does a lot of cool stuff on, like, Instagram. But, like, I'm getting a little off track. So I don't think much changed here. I think the only big change we had was, originally Pete was going to take James's role, and I recorded the lines, but I didn't think my voice sounded all that great for them, so I just figured, hey, I'll just do James instead. Like, that'll be interesting. Yeah, you can also tell this was, even though this was, like, February, this was still kind of, like, a little bit early stages, because, like, some engines go too fast, but, I think this was good for establishing, like, the mood of, like, certain scenes, like, establishing kind of, like, the docks are very busy with, like, all the different kinds of engines going by. Like, we see, like, James coming in, we see Percy in the background hauling out a goods train, you got Puffle here who's shunting in the train that gets fixed up and, like, sent off with Wartime, who you're going to see a little more of when we get around to doing the 10-minute episodes, and we might do a Meet the Crotoonians with them, not too sure, because we got a few of them lined up. But yeah, I think, well, some things are still rushed. Like, this one is still, like, interesting in terms of, like, experimenting with camera angles and, like, again, featuring such a huge set. Also, this was going to be released, I think, a day earlier. I wanted to have this done for, I think, the Monday. It might have been Valentine's Day. But then I was overworking myself a little bit, like, staying up late to finish it. And my parents were like, Milan, you gotta take some sleep. And I was like, okay. But, this still turned out pretty good. I'm not sure how much of Steph you'll be seeing soon. I know she's very busy with a lot of stuff. Like, she's going around the world and, like, traveling and doing a bit of, like, her own writing stuff, so... But you are going to see her in one of the first episodes, like, for the 10-minute series, so... Yeah, this one was fun. Next up was something that was really, really delayed. Like, this was supposed to come out not long after Tracy's Heavy Haul. Like, this was supposed to come out in April, but then the hard drive I used for this stuff that has all the animation files screwed up, so this ended up coming out on Thanksgiving 2016, like I think Thanksgiving Friday, but I don't think it's that big of a bother, because like, this is probably the best one I've done so far, like, not counting like Tillie to the Rescue, or like some of the 10-minute episodes I'm working on, this is probably the best video we've released so far, because like, really good characterization. This was the first one, too, to kind of use the PC, because, like, after I got the PC fixed up, like, I just used this shot as, like, a test to work around with, like, the very first shot in the episode. I was like, wow, I can do so much on this new thing! So, I decided to produce this for, like, a Thanksgiving treat for you guys, and I think part of it works so well is because of the character interaction. Like, you've got Casey Jr., brilliantly played by Enterprising Engine 93, this cool, laid-back, seen it all, just kind of like, yeah, whatever, I've seen it, kind of engine. And then you have Gordon, beautifully played by Leo Jones, who he himself described as sort of a Brian Blessed feeling, and you get the little lens flare there, oh my god. And who's just like this overblown, really pompous, but still lovable engine. It's like so fun to work with both personalities. It's like you go from, like, this overblown, oversaturated dream sequence to, like, just Casey Jr. like, yeah, I've heard this talk before from everybody. And, like, this is the one that still gets laughs from just about everybody. Like the whole shot with, like, James, like, James, like, the whole shot with Gordon going red. That's the one that makes everyone chuckle still. And I think this is also, like, a personal favorite, because, like, the character animation sticks out really well. Like, I played a lot with Casey Jr. in this, and, like, it was really fun. And here we got Goods Manager and Pete, who makes his debut with Geeb Machine, who voices him, Charlie, Tencents. Oh god, we have, like, and of course Thomas. We have a bunch of characters he's playing, and he's a really great guy, really nice. Always fun to work with. He's got his own TV show right now. It's called Storytime with Joel Hunter. Check it out sometime. It's actually really cool. He does, like, a bunch of, like, read-alongs to a bunch of books, and ranging from, like, the Railway series to, like, Wind in the Mills, I think he did once. It's really great stuff. I still love the little eye troll with Gordon. Oh, and by the way, that diesel shunter is not diesel. It's one of those random, like, Class O weights you got in the background, because, like, Britain has an overload of them, and I guess for Crotoonia, we kind of apply the same thing a little bit. But yeah, once again, this is probably my favorite that we've done so far. Not counting some of the 10-minute episodes, because, like, it was very fun to work on, very good to see the outcome of, and it was just a really nice treat for you. And it did really well, too. I'm surprised how much it blew up in views, like, once it came out. Okay, so we got one more, and this is, I'll be very honest, this is probably the one that I think came out a little bit least good. Like, it's still decent, but it's just like, you kind of feel, you might get what I mean. This was, Tracy and the Troublesome Trucks, and this was the first script one I didn't write. This was written by Dual Express, who, this was one of the, I think this might have even been the first script he wrote. And there's a fair bit changed for this, mostly because of time constraints. I wanted to get this done for Easter because it got pushed back so much. So I originally was going to be Cormac instead of Puffer Pete, but I didn't have time to get his model ready, so I just kind of went, I'll do Puffer Pete. And I didn't have time to finish the set for Cliffstone Central Junction. I mean, Cliffstone Center Quarry, which was going to be where the ending would have taken place, but I was just like, I gotta get something out for Easter. I've been kind of off with, like, a lot of uploads lately because of school, so yeah, if you're wondering why this one didn't turn out quite as good as the last couple, it's why. But don't worry, there's going to be a lot of good stuff coming for both me and Ruben. Ruben's written a lot of the 10-minute episodes so far, and he's done, like, a really amazing job. He puts a lot of heart, a lot of humor into their scripts. And for future ones for Meet the Crotoonians, we've got, the next one we're doing is going to be about Ariel and Mega, and it's really, really funny. I'm waiting back on, like, the records for Michelle to get started on that one, along with finding, like, a voice actress for Piper, but it's just, like, it's going to be really fun to work on. It's, like, funny as hell. I shouldn't probably use that word. Anyhow, I guess what kind of salvages this one for me is like, again, experimenting with a few things. Like the Cliffstone Junction shot is probably my favorite out of this. The freight yard was like really nice. Like in terms of like activity was nice. So I think the set definitely improved from what we've recently done. But yeah, I think if I changed a few things, like maybe had time to give like Timothy some face masks instead of just being like smiling and like randomly rocking, instead of like showing that he's nervous. Like this might have turned out a little bit better instead of just like, oh, Tillie's having troublesome trucks and this is what happens. But I don't know. I still think this is decent for like the animation and again the voice acting from Blake Hawkins, who you'll hear like she did a really great job. Like she does a really great job with any role she's done so far. She's done Tillie, Emma, Tricks the Forklift. Like I think she's done a few others, but I can't name on the top of my head. But yeah, this is about it. So overall, I'm really glad of how the show's turning out so far. You guys are in for a real treat with the 10-minute episodes that are coming out soon. I don't know. I'm proud of these, even though some of them didn't turn out quite as good as others. I still think they were good to like show us stepping stones. So next upload, I'm not sure what it's gonna be. I'm hoping to get Milan's Ramblings out soon, but I've got graduation within the next few weeks, so we'll have to see. So thanks for watching. Keep watching other content here. So I'll talk to you later.